Hey everyone, welcome to the Comics Lounge. Today I'm talking about ways that us comic fans get to non local comic shops. So basically, what I'm saying is when you're out of town, how do you trick your wife into going to an out of town comic shop? We're going to talk about that. And I want to see who else does this because I was talking to my buddy and apparently he does the same exact thing. So, before I say anything more, make sure to go down, like this video, comment on the video, and then also subscribe if you have not already and hit that notification bell. And of course, go ahead and watch. When you're out of town, you really got to go to the local comic shops. And of course, there's tons all over the place. I was actually pleasantly surprised by one, and I'm going to do a quick quick haul from that local comic shop because I was so excited to pick books up from there. And that is actually what is in this beautiful brown paper bag. And so while I do that, I'm going to kind of talk about the different ways that, of course, we all find a way to, I put it in air quotes because it's not really a trick. Our wives are smarter than we think. So as I was going through this local comic shop, I found some really cool variant covers, and my wife fell in love with one, I fell in love with one, and then I finally pulled the trigger on Keanu Reeves' Berserker, just because I wanted to read it. This is the second print. It's a variant. I want to say it's the second print. But it's a really sweet variant. I can't wait to read it. It is Berserker #1. I might get into it. I might not. I have always kind of enjoyed the artwork on the front, and then from what I've seen on the inside, it's always been very cool artwork, very well thought out, detailed work, and I really can't wait to see what it is. I'm very excited to kind of get into it. I know it's a lot of that shoot first, ask questions later type of story writing, but I'm okay with that. Sometimes that is an awesome way to do stuff. And there's certain stories that need to be told that way. So that's fine by me. I'm good with it. The next one, I've been talking about this for months now. I'm absolutely in love with this book. So when I went there, I was not planning on picking this up. I honestly didn't even realize that this was a thing. This is the fourth printing of Geiger #1, and it's such an interesting, cool cover. I love the skull motif that we see in these books. It's so cool, and it really tells a lot about the characters. And as I've said, if you have not picked up this book already, go pick it up. It is the fourth printing red variant of issue #1. Such an amazing cover, beautiful. I can't say enough good things about it because it is that well drawn of a cover. This cover in particular was done, let's see if it says who did the variant. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. This one does not. Just has the colorist, the letterers, and the creators. Doesn't say who did this particular cover. That's okay though. Oh, Anderson. Brad Anderson. Right down there. Duh. And if you don't know, Brad Anderson is the colorist of all of these issues. But again, amazing, well done book. well thought out. Jeff Johns and Gary Frank are absolutely phenomenal creators. You got to go check it out if you have not already. Then I saw this, and I usually don't pick up covers like this just because they're so hard to keep clean. They're very they're a niche market, I guess is the best way to put it, but my wife absolutely fell in love with it. So I had to pick it up, and it's one of those books that it's beautiful. It's wonderfully done. It's beautifully written. Like everything about it is excellent, and the cover just adds so much to it. So it is Yara Flor, and I don't want to get this wrong. So I'm going to make sure that I know exactly what issue it is. Yep, Wonder Girl #1. There it is. I'm just kidding. That's the back cover. That's how cool this book is. I hate these. They pick up fingerprints so quickly and so easily. Good thing they're easy to take off on these books too. But beautiful book, beautiful cover. I'm putting this one right into a bag and board so it doesn't get ruined anymore by fingerprints. Wipe it off a little bit. I need to stop touching it. I say I'm going to put it right away, and to wipe it off, I touch it 3 more times. But again, she's so beautifully drawn on this cover and in this book. It's a wonderful read. If you have not read Wonder Girl #1, go check it out. It is very well done, and this variant is just so cool. Like I said, I don't have very many foils in my collection, and a lot of the ones that I do have are just, that's the way the cover was. Spider-Man 200, I think it was, with maybe it was 100, with the metal-plated Spider-Man armor. And then, of course, while I was there, because I wanted a copy for myself and a copy for my son, I picked up Spider-Man and Venom. It was free comic book day still, and they had a whole shelf. I kept my cool. I only picked up one. Don't hate me. So, how do we do it? How do we go to these local comic shops and trick our wives into doing that? It's one of those things where you just kind of say, hey, I really wanted to check out the town, and I think it'd be really cool if we went to the village over here. This street is supposed to have some really amazing shops, some really cool antique shops, which my wife is into. And you basically walk right on up and say, I didn't know there was a comic shop here. Can we go in? And your wife is usually like, sure, you didn't know there was a comic shop here. Like, never been here before. Had no idea. Should we go in? And reluctantly, typically, your wife goes in. And if your wife is like mine, she goes in reluctantly and comes out very happy with all the books that she's fallen in love with. Funny how that works, right? But honestly, it is amazing because we both share the passion, and I absolutely enjoy tricking her into finding all these other local comic shops, because that allows for us to go on these adventures, and it brings us back to the first trip we ever went on, and that was to New York City, Rhode Island. And in New York City and Rhode Island, we went to some local comic shops. Now, the local comic shop we went to in New York City was gigantic, but it started a tradition of me kind of tricking her into finding and going to local comic shops all over the place and seeing what they have to offer. The one we went to in New York City was Forbidden Planet. If you have not been to Forbidden Planet, I highly suggest you put it on your bucket list. That and Midtown Comics. We didn't get a chance to go to Midtown. That's for our next New York City trip. But Forbidden Planet is absolutely amazing. It is so worth checking out. And thank you for watching. That's basically what I do wherever I travel. Even if I'm not with my wife, I still go check out some local comic shops, kind of look it up. I'm hardly ever traveling without my wife, so I don't even have that time. But when we were in Boston, there were some local comic shops that were pretty sweet. Like I said, Rhode Island was a cool one. We went to one outside of Poughkeepsie. Wasn't a huge fan of that one. Won't go back. We wanted to go to another one in Poughkeepsie, but it was closed that day that we were there. So that kind of sucked. And like I said, the one in Syracuse, the Destiny Mall. And there's two more that we went to out near Buffalo and Lockport, 716 Cafe, and I can't remember the other one, but they are all amazing. But I still say my local comic shop, Rhino's Comics, is my favorite to go to. It's got so much packed into such a small space, and I've never met an owner like Chet. Honestly, there's many amazing owners in my local area, absolutely phenomenally amazing, but none of them measure up to the love and passion that my local comic shop owner has for comics and the people that he reads comics with, which is all of his customers and friends and family. It's amazing. Every single time I go in there, he asks me how the kids are doing, everything, and I swear, that man is an absolutely amazing person. If you're ever in the Western New York area, you got to check out Rhino's Comics. You got to go meet Chet. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Again, go down there and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. It has been an absolute pleasure watching and learning all of this with you guys, and I can't wait to see where this channel takes us for the next 1,000 subscribers. Again, thank you so much, and have an amazing, blessed day. Hashtag Loungers Unite, and of course, up here, last chance to subscribe. You can do it the fun way if you click up here. Down here, over here, is going to be a little feature video. Over here is going to be the last video I did with my wife, and then up here is going to be a video that YouTube picked just for you. Thank you for watching again. As always, hashtag Loungers Unite.